Hi, TC here at the Miss Queue. A lot of new players ask about queues, and when they're on a budget, these players often go to the likes of Amazon and Temu to find their weapon of choice. Now, what I'm going to do today is just share my experiences with a queue that I purchased from Temu. So I purchased this about 12 days ago. It arrived this morning, so I've literally just taken it out of the bag. Well, there was no bag. It came in some very unceremonious bubble wrap, and that was it. There was no case or anything. It was just bubble wrap. Tear it open, and the queue fell out. So, well, that's what you pay for, I guess. So let's have a look at this one then. So it's a carbon fibre queue. It's 57.8 inches in length, 19 ounce, so it's a good weight. The Q tip on this is quite large. Okay, I think it's 13 millimeters. So that's I don't know, for beginners that might be okay, because a larger tip means there's more surface area to hit the cue ball and less probability of putting unwanted spin on it, for example. But that's your choice tip size. I play with a 12.5 myself, but 13 might be too big for intermediates. But this is for beginners, so let's focus on that and let's have a look at this cue, shall we? So first impressions, very good. Quite like the look of it. Okay, this kind of dark black with this kind of nice pattern here. That's quite good. And it doesn't look to be anything wrong really. Okay, so it's not smooth, that finish, but it won't be a problem on the shaft with the glove. That's quite nice. At the end, there's no problems with the finish. Okay, nothing sticking out that shouldn't be. We've got this kind of hard rubber here as the grip, so okay to begin with. I'm not sure how that will hold up over a few months. It could get scuffed or come apart, but I don't want to speculate at this point. Let's have a look at this. Right, again, so it's not smooth, but it will not be a problem when it's going through a gloved hand. Quite light. Okay, this part here, let me come a bit closer actually. I'll show you this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see here, it's quite smooth. This is a little bit cheap here. Okay, this bevel part, and I prefer to have a white circle there just so that I can get my perspective when shooting. So that might be an issue, but you can always, I don't know what you could do with that. I suppose you could put some kind of white paint on it of some kind if you needed that. But yeah, that would be a minus mark for me. Tip, it's not great, and you're not going to get good tips on these cues. Okay, there's no way they're going to sell a cheap carbon fibre cue and then put an amazing tip on it. That's just not good business sense at all, is it? So I would probably replace that tip immediately. This is not going to be a brand name tip, and it's quite cheap, that tip. Okay, so you would need to replace that with a Mori or a Kamal tip, perhaps a medium, and go from there. But yeah, this tip I can see already that there's issues. You can see the shape of it as well. You haven't got that nice kind of, they say in America, dime or a nickel kind of shape. You haven't got that here. So yeah, so there are issues then with the tip on first glance, I will hastily add. Okay, so let's put it together and see how the joint fixes in. Right, that's really good. There's no jar in this. That's very smooth. That's a big plus. Okay, right, that feels really good. I have to say, it's quite heavy at the back. It's a heavy cue, 19 ounces, but there's no issues with that. Okay, then the next thing a new player will want to do is check that the cue is straight. Well, the way that we do that is we hold it kind of like you're aiming a rifle and use your dominant eye. So for me, that's the left. So I'm just looking at that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to roll it in a circle. And if there's any obvious defect, I'll pick this up straight away. Right, I am seeing one already. Now this is, I might come over and show you this, but it's all straight and then it kind of bubbles out here, like one of those Indian pipes that are used to get the cobras out of baskets. Maybe I've been watching too many Indiana Jones films. So it is a straight queue, but it's got this weird bubble inside. Okay. I know what you're asking. Oh, what, you just put it flat on there and roll it, and that tells you it's straight. Well, not quite, because sometimes, particularly in the case of snooker queues, if there's a little part that's out of the queue, like in all snooker queues actually, then it's going to go up and down whenever it gets to that point. Okay, and similarly with a pool queue, there could be any kind of defect. Wouldn't necessarily say it wasn't straight. It could just be like in here we've got this funny shape, haven't we? Okay, let me come and show you this so you can see what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you're going to just think I'm a madman, aren't you? Okay, right. So let's see if we can do this. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to roll that slightly. Very hard to do this when there's a camera right in front of you, but you get the point. Okay. So straight, yes, with that little bobble that we have around about here. Okay, so the early indications are that I've snagged a real bargain here. Nice looking cue, smooth in the gloved hand. Pretty good so far for $50. So let's have a few shots, shall we? So stomp shot, best place to start. Try one from the other side. It's a little bit off angle. Okay, no issues there. Let's move to a topspin. And important to get lots of chalk on your new tip. Talk about the tip later because it will need replacing. All right, let's try that from the other side. Yeah, so no real issues with that. The issues will always be with your draw shot. Okay, so let's try a close-up draw to start with. And I'm going to use a closed grip because I know, because I've seen these tips before, they are notoriously bad for draw shots. So let's see how this powers through, shall we? Yeah, not very good that. The reason is it's not curved. I'm going to have to shape this tip in order to make that more effective. Okay, otherwise there's going to be very little draw. Let's try more of a standard low draw. Right, I'm not getting anything on that. So the draw shot is an issue, but otherwise that's a really good beginner's cue. So to review then, in terms of the quality of this cue, very cheap, $50, $55 with postage. You're not going to be able to get anything better than that in your local sports shop, I wouldn't have thought. Looks good. The straightness is fine. It's a good weight as well. The design is nice also. In terms of the drawbacks with this, I don't like this rubber wrap, but you could change that, put your own wrap on. And the big problem is this part here, but it's a big problem because it's the most important part of your cue, the tip. Tip's going to need to be replaced. I can see this sort of cue, it's cheap, it will mushroom, you'll constantly need to reshape it, and you know something, you're better off just taking it off and putting a Morial Kamau tip on there, and that'll be fine. And the other thing is the ferrule here, that's the plastic part between the cue and the tip, that really needs to be white. If it's all black, it's very hard to kind of get your perspective when you're shooting. Okay, so so overall then for this, what would I give this as a cue? I think it's a 3.5 out of 5 cue. So there you go, 7 out of 10, 70%. I think that's a fair review of this Temu cue. If you found that useful, please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, whatever queue you're using, enjoy playing pool.